doing, kids? So, wrapping up the end of my month-long vacation. Took some time off to relax, take care of my health a little bit better than I have been. Spent some time working on the Volkswagen, working on the motorcycle. And we're gonna stop by the gas station here because a little low on fuel. Fuel tank's under the hood. I only put in 6 gallons. Get the air conditioning going. Beautiful day for a little drive. So, most of you already know about my 67 Volkswagen. It's been in my possession since, I want to say 2015. So I've owned it for 11 years now, and I will never get rid of it. It actually belongs to my daughter more than me. And we've had many memories riding in this car and working on it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's kind of a family heirloom. I've owned this car since 2015. Bought it on my, it would have been my 35th birthday. So I've owned it for 11 years. It was originally a stock 1500 and had been a local car to Reno, Nevada pretty much its whole life. The patina that you see, this car has earned. I'm pretty sure it's had, you know, a cheap Earl Scheib paint job over the years. But I've done pretty good to polish all that nasty paint off of it and take better care of it. It doesn't need a whole lot. It doesn't ask a whole lot. And, you know, it's just a simple Volkswagen. I put a custom steering wheel on it, Hurst style shifter, a chrome emergency brake handle. I love red interiors, and I think it's a good clash on a blue car. So I'm in the process of changing the interior color to red, the door panels. I like Porsche style bucket seats. I should have bought two because now they don't make this type of seat anymore. It's a Corbeau. And I like to sit low and further back in the car. As you can see in the stock seat here, I would be 4 inches taller and just fill up the entire car. So I've made this car to fit me. I don't let anyone else drive it, and it's my car the way I want it to be. The original door panels would have an armrest, but you know, being a bigger dude, I didn't want the armrest hitting me all the time. So we've got these door pulls on either door, so you can shut the doors. It is a Volkswagen. It is pretty airtight, so you got to make sure to crack a window if you want to slam a door. I've added gauges, an oil temperature gauge and an oil pressure gauge to monitor my engine. I also have a tachometer, and that's pretty much it. I think this car has maybe 8, maybe 10 fuses, and it's just very simple. It runs. I've got a newer motor in it right now. I upgraded to a 1600, and it needs some transmission work. I believe first and second synchronizer is bad. So, you know, if you got a trained ear and you're hearing me drive, you'll hear it crunch into second gear. And it's very difficult to downshift from third into second. Sometimes you hear me crunch. But, you know, I'm pretty good at the heel toe shifting and stuff and trying to match my revs. So I've been able to baby it for a little bit. There's play in the steering right now because I've got the wheels turned all the way to the left. But I do need to rebuild the steering box on this thing because it does have about 1 inch of play in it. I wanted to upgrade to like a Porsche 356 steering box or maybe something from like air cooled or something. There are companies that make a better steering box for these things. But enough jibber jabbing. Let's drive. Can't say it starts every time. Actually, it does. It's just sometimes it's hard to start. I always got to adjust my mirror because the door hits it when it opens. people have asked if I'm ever going to paint the car or fully restore it or anything like that. The answer is no. I lowered the front end. I put disc brakes up front. It stops pretty good. It handles pretty good. It's got Coney shocks on it and upgraded sway bars. So I mean, it handles pretty good for a Volkswagen. You know, you're not going to see me, you know, throw it into turns too much, but it drives good. It's just got a little bit too much play in the steering wheel. I think right now we've got about an inch of play. And like I said, I could either tighten up the steering box or just replace it with a better one to begin with. Doesn't have air conditioning, has these little vent windows. You turn them around inside out, you know, and it pulls the air into the cabin, right into your microphone. Shout out to Rode Microphones and the little dead cat. It's been an absolutely fantastic weekend car for me for many years. And I've always had a dream of getting it mechanically sound enough to take it on, you know, like a vintage cruise. One of my favorites is the Targa California. And it's usually a bunch of guys on, you know, BMW, you know, not BMW, older BMWs like the 2002, older Porsches, the 356, the 911. And I want to build this car, you know, not as a Herbie tribute by any means, but I want to build it up to where I can at least run with the Porsche 356s and the old Alfa Romeos and all that. So, you know, not a hot rod by any means, but, you know, more comfortable to drive at 70, 80, maybe even 90 miles an hour. With this motor, I put a different carburetor on it, and it'll do 100 miles an hour, I think. It's just where I currently live in Minnesota, there's no open roads. This car spent most of its life in Nevada. So, you know, we got open roads out there where you could do 200 miles an hour if you wanted. But I want to make a 100-mile-an-hour car out of this thing, so I've already done a lot to suspension. I would like to upgrade the tires. I've got the wheels that I like, which are kind of like a tribute to the Porsche 550 or the old 356. You know, it's a wide 5 pattern. They're aluminum wheels, so they're really light. They're 7-inch wide in the front and 8-inch wide in the rear. So it gives me that staggered look. But I'll probably change it up to where it's more like a 356, you know, wide tires front and rear, not just up in the front. There, 60 miles an hour. Well, 70. car the entire rest of my life. There's no way I'm going to let go of this car. It is far too much fun. You know, I could hit second gear full throttle in the school zone and not go to prison. And like I said, it handles pretty good. Had more twisty roads. So the latest motor that I put in this car, I kind of bought in a hurry. I bought it off the marketplace, and I suspect that it either, well, I know it's burning oil. Like, I can look in the rearview mirror and see there's a little bit of haze behind me, but I don't know if that camera that's on the rear bumper will pick it up too. As I'm driving, I can smell it burning oil. So I'm thinking maybe might need a rebuild. It might be the valve seals. But as it sits right now, it drives fine. If I want to go down the street and get a hamburger, or just go for a little cruise like this, you know, fire up the air conditioning. There you go. So yeah, it's a fun little car. I don't know if you can see down here, but the carpet is coming down from the front bulkhead. So I need to re-glue my carpet. I would like to replace the headliner. Somebody tore it years ago, and you know, you never know the life of a Volkswagen. Not everybody treats them with kind, due respect. You know, back in the day, if you needed cheap transportation, this was the answer. Unless you wanted, you know, some crazy American car that's not built very well. You know, Ford Pinto. What was the Chevy? It was like a Chevy Vega or something like that. But with this car, I hear every rattle, I feel every bump in the road. You just don't get that with new cars. You can't get that with new cars. New cars are isolated and just, there's no fun. They've literally taken all the fun out of cars nowadays. You know, when this car was built, automatic transmissions were an option. Grind second. But nowadays, if you want a manual transmission, that's the option. New cars, you don't have control. Your brand new car has GPS. It has a little SOS button if you need help, which means your car's tracked 24/7. You got check engine lights. The only check engine light I have is a low oil pressure light or a low voltage light. There's 2 lights that tell me if there's anything wrong with this car. And you're expected to know how to fix it yourself. The cars nowadays, there's no way to fix them yourself. You know, there's legislation that's trying to prevent people from working on their cars nowadays. And that's an absolute shame. Something goes wrong with this car, 9 times out of 10, I can fix it and get to my destination. I won't get there as fast as anybody else. You know, it's only 75, maybe 80 horsepower. But I don't have to take it to a dealership to get worked on. I can drop the motor in this car and rebuild it in an afternoon. And that's kind of a shame that that's lost on society nowadays. There's people that you have to spend substantial amounts of money nowadays to have a car that will give you an experience. That's kind of sad. You can pick up a Volkswagen like this for, I don't know, $6,000, maybe $7,000. You can pick up a really nice one that's like a hot rod, you know, for $10,000. And it'll be totally different than anything else on the street. I mean, even if you're watching outside the windshield while I'm driving right now, you will not see another Volkswagen out here. say Volkswagens will float. I don't feel like testing that theory. So yeah, kids, want to thank you for riding along with me. The car has always had a nickname, and it's the Kraut Monkey. And it's just been a fun car. Like I said, I've owned it for 11 years now, and it's never really let me down. It's never been on a tow truck, I don't think. I have had to trailer at home, but like I said, I didn't call it a tow truck. It sat out in Georgia. When I lived in Georgia, it sat in the carport for a little bit. So I've got areas of surface rust and stuff like that that I need to fix. But altogether, it's been a great car. And as you've seen from the videos, filming around here today, it runs pretty good. It runs pretty good. It's lowered 2 inches in the front with drop spindles, with disc brakes. The rear is stock height. And then I've got the 356, looks like the 356 drum brake. You know, it's like a simulator on the back. And yeah, not much more I could say about it other than I absolutely love the car. And it's been my best friend for 11 years. And it's not going anywhere. If you look carefully, I hate to point this out, but the car has been wrecked before. This fender right here, which currently has a dent, it was hit on the right front pretty bad. So the front end has shifted sideways a little bit. There's a little crumple right here, and this door kind of fits a little wonky. It would cost thousands upon thousands of dollars to put it right. And then I'd have to worry about painting it and all that. And I don't want to paint the car. It's earned exactly what it looks like. Plans for the future. I'd like to change the tires out. I went for just a look rather than actual performance. I don't like the tires. I would like to finish the interior, put another bucket seat on the passenger side. I'd like to replace the running boards just so they look cleaner. You can just replace the rubber on it, but I'd like to replace the entire thing. I want to rebuild the windows. Like, the window seals are kind of bad on it, and the windows rattle when the windows are rolled up. But like I said, it's not going to get body work or anything like that. I want it to look the way that it's earned. I don't want it to look like a new car. If it looked like a new bug, then I'd be afraid to drive it. And I'm not afraid to drive that. Crunch. So again, I want to thank you kids for riding with me. Really appreciate it. And we'll have more adventures in the Volkswagen, I promise.